The moon cycle? What is happening on the 28th day, which is the cycle of the moon is every 28 days. The body releases the old egg that was not fertilized and brings in the new. Is that not nature? And during that time, you can do a lot of stuff because you are very powerful during that time, ladies. So you can study up on how to use that particular time of the month, because that's when you're most open to your spiritual side, to the divine. But you know, in this reality, we have cursed that with all kinds of names. And what's mostly related to the moon cycle are negative things. By the way, that's not normal. It's common, it happens, and we accept it as normal, but the menstrual cycle is not meant to be a time of pain and suffering. And that's one of the things that's also going. As we become more awakened to the true reality and withdraw and unplug from the false reality, we'll start to get rid of that stuff. So you can use the moon to know where to direct your activities. And the more kind, benevolent, loving, caring you are, the more powerful that energy becomes. Right? Okay. The Spirit wants me to spend a little more time on the menstrual cycle to shift the mentality that is behind it, and maybe it's because it's going to be helpful to a couple of people here. That's why Spirit wants me to talk about it. So when we talk about, first of all, what's the cycle about? It's about life. Every 28 days. That cycle, that moon cycle, is the cycle of life, is it not? Before life gets here. Because life has a cycle before it gets here and has a cycle after it gets here. Right? And we don't have to go through what that cycle is. You're living it. And so when we talk about bloodlines, think about it. The bloodline comes through the portal of the womb. And every month, if you think about it, bloodline, what comes at the moon cycle? The bloodline shows up even in the physical through the portal of life. And we call that the moon cycle. It comes out of the portal, which is known as the yoni, Sanskrit word, for the female reproductive system. And that word yoni means sacred space. Look it up. So the minute you shift your mindset to that being a sacred space, then a certain kind of energy will come in to replace whichever one that's there, but that doesn't belong. So you should always see that as a sacred space. When you see it as a sacred space, you won't ignore it, and it just won't be used for two things, and that's it, and then you forget about it. The only time you think about it is when you want to go to the bathroom and for something else. There's more to it than that. Those two things are legit, by the way, but there's more to it than that, and that is what needs to be brought in. The minute you see that part of you as sacred, because it's the bringer of life, is it not? It nurtures it, brings it from the bloodline into the reality. Then you start to think, then you start to bring in a different energy. Then things will start to come suddenly, like practices to heal that sacred space on a spiritual level. Because many, many women have been injured in that space, and not just in this lifetime, in previous lifetimes. Then ideas of how to heal that yoni space will start to come into the mind. And when it does, it's not a mistake. If it hasn't already happened for some of you, Maybe you'll have a practice to heal that section, that part. And in our community, which I'm going to make an announcement pretty soon. In our spiritual community, which we're opening up soon, I'm going to announce a date right after this. We're going to have a space for the yoni, how to take care of it, how to heal it, and get rid of energies, techniques that you can use, right? Energy flow is going to be in charge of that, because yeah, I might know it, but I'm a man, right? Nothing wrong with that, because I also have a mother and I also have female ancestors. So for me, I'm just as my interest in it is vested, because my female ancestors, which are within me, they need me to venerate that space too, even though I have the other kind of thing going on down there, right? So, but it needs to be a woman that does it, right? And I might come in and chime in with some things or whatever, but it has to be a woman that's in charge, and she will be.